What is up, everyone? So today I received a very special package today. I've been waiting about a month and a half for this package and it finally came. We have received the SLR angle kit. We got the knuckles, control arms, the adjustable lollipops, everything needed to install on the car. So I am going to lift the car up, kind of take a look at everything, and see if I want to get that started today. Got the car in the air, both tires off on both sides. So just kind of having a look here. You can see that the rust is pretty noticeable everywhere. So I'm just gonna take my time. I put some WD-40 on it last night and the night before. So I'm just gonna try to scrape off some of the rust on the bolts to make sure the wrench fits all good. We have the outer tie rod. Then we have a bolt right, let's see. We have a bolt right here. And then we have these two bolts going to like the bushing in the back, which we also will replace with the SLR kit. And then the knuckle, we have the bolt back there, and then this front bolt for the outer tie rod. So those are the main bolts we're gonna be messing with, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too bad. I might have to heat up some of the bolts to get it, but we'll see. Starting on the right side of the car here, I took off the 22mm bolt that was on the stud right there connected to the frame. That was the first one I did, and now I'm going to start working on the tie rod. It's a good idea to do tie rod first because then your whole assembly right here is still held on by the control arm. So it's a good idea just to do it now, kind of loosen everything up, and then can finish the control arm afterwards. All right, the lower control arm is out of the car. All I did was, like I said, use this fork tool, kind of put it in between the ball joints and hit it with a hammer. Separated like nothing. And yeah, so we are ready to move on to the next part, which is prepping the SLR kit and kind of just placing it where we think is good. I'm gonna start with the inner one right here and then tighten that completely up. And then probably work my way to the knuckle and then going back to the chassis of the car. So we'll kind of mock that up and see how it goes. Next, we're going to torque the bolt to 65 foot-pounds. You want a deep well 22 socket and a torque wrench. So just get that. Torque down to 65 foot-pounds, and now we will start adding on the knuckle. So for the knuckle here, this is the right side of the car, front of the knuckle. We're going to install the SLR logo on the inside. I just pointed the outer tie rod connecting point in. You have the bolt that goes in. And then in between the bolt and the kit, for a non-M E36, you want to add 2 washers. So we'll put the 2 washers, the bolt. All right, and then once that's in, you can add the nut on the bottom. The nice thing with the SLR kit is that you don't need to screw the nut, you just need to screw the actual screw itself. It's machined to hold the nut in place, so you can just twist on one end. But so you kind of just mock it up, and then with the back bolt, I like to actually put it in the angle or the control arm itself first. So I put that piece through, and then I take the nut and washer off. And then I put it through the back of the knuckle. Then I put the washer on top of the knuckle with the nut, and then it just screws in. I think that's an easier way to do it. I know there's a bunch of ways too, but this is the way I found easiest. So I'm gonna do it that way. And then we'll move on to the actual Lollipop pieces that come onto the chassis of the car. For the inner knuckle here, a nice trick that I like to do is kind of line everything up with the bolt, and then I put a little jack under it, and I kind of lift up on the bolt, not too much. You don't want to force it. So like there's a difference between forcing it and kind of just pushing it. So I kind of just slightly push it up to hold it. And then once it's about a little bit through, I'll put the washer on, I'll put the nut on, and then I'll start tightening the nut, and then I'll take the jack away. This is just kind of nice to help hold everything. But again, you don't want to force it, otherwise you can mess up the threads. So this is just a little trick when you're by yourself and you don't have anybody holding anything for you. But yep, almost there. Got to put that on, and then we'll tighten that up. And like I said, we'll move to the last piece next. The knuckle is all finished up here. Looks great on both sides there. Got that one done first. Now we're moving on to the, I think it's called the Lollipop or the F cab. But it's going to right there, right on the chassis. Looks like this. The SLR kit comes with this as an option. So if you get this option, this is how you do it. If not, you just use your standard ones. But we have the SLR facing out, of course, and then we just have to attach the control arm into the rubber piece right here. I'm going to put some Kappa slip on there. You can use grease or anti-seize or something, but kind of just slip that on there, and then you want it to line up with those two bolts. I'm going to do the max caster setting, which is all the way in. We're going to start there. If I need to take it off and adjust once I put the wheels on, I will, but with the small wheels I have, I don't think I'll run into any problems. So we're going to do that. So I slid the Lollipop pieces onto the control arm. Like I said, I used some anti-seize on there, and it kind of went on all nice and easy. If you need to, you can get a socket about the same size as the rubber piece and kind of just tap it on just to kind of help you. So one thing to note that's really important is that this does not go on all the way to the end. You want to start off slow and then kind of line up where the holes are. If you go too far, you're gonna have to back it off, and it's just a whole annoying process. So kind of just start off slow, line up the holes, and then once your holes are lined up, go ahead and put these 17mm bolts in, and then tighten those up to torque spec. And then after that, your lower control arm is installed. Moving on to the next part here, we are going to install our outer tie rod from SLR. This connects to here and here. So what I like to do is I pretty much just thread this on pretty far. Oops, got it the wrong way, but I like to thread it on pretty far. I would say maybe about like till there. And then I start putting it on this one. After I start putting it on this one, then I can start twisting the inner tie rod itself to loosen it here and to keep bringing it more onto here. I'll show you guys once I get to that point. Alright, I am at the point here where I'm going to connect the two. So this one, it's kind of hard to move at first, but just want to, there we go. Just kind of move this around, and then you kind of want it just to get as straight as possible. You might have to twist this even more out just to get it started. So once you got some like room like that, you can kind of twist it in, make sure it's straight here. That's the most important part, I would say. And basically, like, you're trying to turn the wheel, so like you can kind of move the whole assembly and it kind of goes in like that. So you kind of want to account for that. So maybe just pull that out a little bit, push it in, some trial and error. especially when you're by yourself. It can be a process here. Ow, don't pinch yourself. But once you kind of get that lined up, you can start feeding it on. All right, so once you got it lined up and you got it straight, what you want to do is you want to put pressure on this assembly while you tighten, because while you tighten, it's also going to go in on this side. That's why you want a little bit of thread. So the most important part is just put pressure, twist it in while you do it so the threads get started, and then once you got the threads a little bit started, we can start backing it off of the inner tie rod. So I got the thread started here. I'm going to take a 13mm wrench to the inner tie rod right here, and I'm going to kind of twist it. I think it's this way, let's see. No other way. I'm just going to twist it a bunch of times to back off the thread on that side. See how we're getting more room over there. This way we can use more thread on the actual heim joint that is part of the knuckle rather than using the entire inner tie rod. You want quite a bit of threads in there in order for it to be structurally sound, I guess you could say. But, you know, these threads are so long, you should have no problem doing that. Alright, so now once you get it I like it kind of looking even, so we got about that much there, about even. And then right here, I like to start tightening both at the same time. So that's just nice and easy. Just go down like this, and you can see that it is doing that. And you can also see our rotor start to come towards us. We have a lot of toe out right now. So as we twist this, it will bring our toe in quite a bit. And for now, I'm going to just kind of eyeball the alignment till I have a chance to get an alignment done. But we'll see how it goes. Also, this adds quite a bit of camber and does drop the car about another inch. So I might have to adjust my coilovers once I put my wheels on and kind of evaluate everything. But for now, this is just going to be an eyeball alignment. But shouldn't be too bad. It's not too hard to tell, but there's definitely a lot more camber, that's for sure. Alright, so a quick overview of the entire kit here. I have the 2 washers in between for my knuckle for a non-M E36. I have the Ackerman screw all attached, the outer tie rod, inner tie rod. I got the bolt torqued down to 81 foot-pounds there, 63 foot-pounds, and then just nice and tight back there. They didn't specify exactly, but I just made sure they were tight. So got those 2 back there, that one, and then here's the knuckle up close. Everything looks great. Everything fit great. It wasn't too difficult of an install. Definitely did better on this side than the first side over there, so learned a lot, and it was pretty smooth. So I'm gonna throw some wheels on here and we'll look at what the angle looks like. Alright, got the wheels installed here, and this is what our angle's looking like. So pretty crazy angle. I'm running the Super Kit, not the Ultra, and this still gives me plenty of angle here to play with. It looks great. Fitment is perfect so far. It looks like I will have to trim just a little bit back here, the wheels hitting, when I'm max angle. I don't know if I'll ever go this far, but just in case, I'm gonna trim a little bit of that metal off. And then on my front bumper here, I'm just gonna trim this corner down here and this corner, because it gets pretty close right here when it's on there. So that's what that side looks like. Running over on this side, clearance and everything, super good up front. Don't even have to worry about that. Overall, the kit looked fantastic. Everything fit great, and I'm very happy with it. we'll get it on the ground and just see how it looks. Car is officially on the ground. I gave it a little test drive. Everything felt great. Fitment is a little out, but I'll have to eventually get an over fender kit. But for now, I kind of need that. Otherwise, I'm going to be rubbing on the inside. But like I said, super excited for the SLR kit to be installed. Super hyped and cannot wait to use it. It wasn't too bad of an install. Just takes some time to get used to for me. I've never done one before, so for the first time, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, I had to upgrade to 17-inch rims just because on the 15-inch, the angle kit bolt at the bottom was touching the inside of the rim. So I kind of had to upgrade my tires. But other than that, got fresh tires, angle kit's installed, engine's all good. Car is, I would say, fully ready to go out on a track day. So we got one coming up on Tuesday. I'm going to give the kit a test and then see how it goes. But thanks for watching and see you in the next one.